Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you all will be enjoying the best of your health. Today's lecture is about marriage. We will also discuss the essentials of marriage or nikah in Islam. In this lecture, we will discuss the following points. First of all, we will introduce marriage. Then we will discuss marriage in the light of Quran and Sunnah. We will define marriage according to Hidayah. We will also discuss objects of marriage, the capacity for marriage, essentials of marriage, difference of witnesses in Shia and Sunni marriage, and the legal effects of a valid marriage. Now let's come to the introduction. The Arabic word for marriage is aqd, which means to tie. Marriage is a social contract between a husband and wife, and it does not require any priest, and it involves no sacramental rites. The Holy Quran says, "Marry those among you who are single, or the virtuous ones among your slaves, male or female. If they are in poverty, Allah will give them means out of His grace." Holy Prophet says, "A woman should be selected because of her religion." He further says, "A woman is married for four things, that is, her wealth, her family status, her beauty, and her religion. So you should marry the religious woman, otherwise you would be a loser." Now, definition of marriage, and we will define it according to Hidayah. Hidayah states that nikah or marriage in the primitive sense means carnal conjunction. Some have said that it signifies conjunction generally. In the language of the law, it implies a particular contract used for the purpose of legalization generation. Now come to the discussion about objects of marriage. Following are the objects of marriage. It includes legalization of sexual intercourse, procreation of children, preservation of human race, and regulation of human life. Now let's discuss the capacity for marriage. That what is the capacity for marriage, or who can enter into the contract of marriage? Every Muslim can enter into the contract of marriage who is of sound mind and who has attained the age of puberty. Lunatics and minors who have not attained the age of puberty may be validly contracted in marriage by their respective guardians. So now we will discuss the essentials of marriage. That what are the essentials of marriage? First of all, we will discuss offer. In marriage, there must be offer by one party. It is also called ijab. Ijab is the word used for offer in Arabic language. Acceptance. The offer so made should be accepted by or on behalf of the other party. It is also called qabul. So here also qabul is the word used for acceptance in Arabic language. In the same meeting, so the offer and acceptance must both be made at the same meeting. Now come to the free consent. The parties contracting marriage should be of free consent. There should be no compulsion among them. Now come to the consideration. There must be some consideration in marriage, which is dower. Consideration is actually the dower. The parties are bound to fix amount of dower at the time of marriage. If you want to learn about the consideration or dower, we will discuss it in the next lecture. And there are also different kinds of dower. So watch the next lecture for knowing about the dower. Now we come to the majority. Majority means age of puberty. The parties contracting marriage should be major. Persons of opposite sexes. Marriage is a contract between two persons of opposite sex. And witnesses. There is a technical point in the matter of witnesses. Shia law and Sunni law, we will discuss both. Shia law says that in case of Shia law, no witness is necessary. It means that a person can enter into the contract of marriage without the presence of witnesses. But Sunni law says, in Sunni law, either two male or one male and two female witnesses are required. The witnesses should be adult and sane. Now come to a discussion of the legal effects of a valid marriage. Following are the legal effects of a valid marriage. that is lawful sexual intercourse. It means the sexual intercourse becomes lawful. Issues burned out are legitimate. Wife becomes entitled to dower. Wife becomes entitled to maintenance, and iddat becomes compulsory. We will discuss the when iddat becomes compulsory or how iddat becomes compulsory in the next lecture. Uh, and after that, mutual rights of inheritance are established. Now we will explain Nikah Nama, just for example. The things we have studied earlier, now it comes to the